Good afternoon. I would like to call the June 3rd, 2024 New Jersey Water Supply Authority Board meeting to order. Ms. Hunt, could you please read the Open Public Meeting Act?
Yes, in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting, including the time, date, and location of the meeting, has been published in designated newspapers. Notice and the agenda of this meeting, as well as Microsoft Teams and call-in information, have also been provided on the authority's website and are posted in a prominent location in the authority's headquarters.
Thank you. Mark, could you please call the roll?
Yeah, Steve just texted me. He's trying to get on, so
Okay, we'll wait then.
trying to get him the phone number. I think he'll join in a minute. Call everybody else. Acting Chair Ofori,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Here.
Commissioner Havens,
Here.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Here.
and Commissioner Pico still not on. Tentatively absent for the moment.
So we go on. Thanks, Mark. This is a reminder that there will be a chance for public comment towards the end of the meeting. I ask for the approval of the May 6, 2024 minutes. The minutes was part of the package previously distributed. Are there any comments on the May 6 minutes? Is there a motion to approve the May 6 minutes and a second?
So moved. So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
I would like to request roll call for vote.
Acting Chair Ofori,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo.
Yes.
Thank you. Mark, could you give the executive director's report, please?
Yes, good afternoon. You all have a copy of my report in your package. In Clinton, precipitation in May was 4.24 inches, which was only 0.15 inches above average. As of yesterday, the combined storage for Round Valley and Spruce Run was 98.6% of capacity, compared to the average historic for that date is 94.9%. May rainfall in Manasquan was 3.49 inches, which is about 0.4 inches below average. Manasquan Reservoir storage level as of this morning was 96.9%. As you know from earlier reporting, we had a 4.6 magnitude earthquake near our Clinton area dams on April 5th. There have been over 170 smaller earthquakes since that date, including 2 over the weekend and actually 1 this morning. 1.6 magnitude this morning. With the decrease in frequency and magnitude, authority staff, after consultation with the DEP, Bureau of Dam Safety, ended the dam advisory condition for the 5 dams in Clinton on May 20th. Staff did respond to the 2.9 earthquake on May 24th by having engineers inspect the dams. Anything over 2.5 within 30 miles, we have engineers automatically mobilized. Last but certainly not least, I am pleased to announce that the authority has been informed by the New Jersey Office of Emergency Management that we will be a recipient of a Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities Grant. It's a BRIC grant. The Federal Emergency Management Association, or FEMA, obligated the sub-grant award on April 16th of this year. Funding has been made available in an amount not to exceed $22,571,000. This represents an approximate 70-30 share of costs based on the project estimate at the time of the application. In any case, the authority should be in line for the full amount of the grant, which is $22.5 million. The balance of project costs will still be financed through the iBank. This is very exciting news for the authority, and I commend our staff for this great accomplishment. Staff will present a resolution seeking board approval of the grant later in the meeting. Are there any other questions?
Okay, move on. Mark, are there any communication or correspondence to report to the board this month?
No, there are none.
Okay, move on to unfinished business. Mark, could you please have your staff report on your system? First, Manusquan Reservoir System, Manusquan Water Treatment Plant and Transmission System.
Yes, Paul McKeon is here today.
Hey, good afternoon. As Mark said, the reservoir is at 96%. We did pump quite a bit in May, trying to keep the reservoir full going into the summer. The rainfall in May was a little below normal and also very sporadic, which made it good for getting good water to pump and also for the treatment plant. There was no anomalies and it was basically a very normal month. And because the water quality was good in the river, we were able to rely on that, and there was no treatment malfunctions. So other than that, if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Okay, next is Raritan Basin System.
Steve Gase, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. You have a copy of my report, and I will proceed with the updates. The Raritan Basin continues to be in good condition for this time of year. Spruce Run Reservoir is at elevation 273 as of this morning, which is full at 100% storage capacity of 11 billion gallons. Ground Valley Reservoir is currently at elevation 383.9, which is just over 1 foot below full pool, resulting in approximately 54 billion gallons of stored water, or 98% of storage capacity. Canal operations are currently normal, with staff focusing mainly on mowing and routine monitoring and maintenance operations. Review of ongoing capital projects. Ground Valley Reservoir, while work on the embankments is essentially complete, contractor continues to remove temporary facilities and restore areas affected by construction activities. They're also continuing to work through remaining ancillary and outstanding contract items. Spruce Run Dam Foundation grouting. While authority staff continues to work through permitting and financing application reviews, we have received approval from NJDEP to advertise for contractor pre-qualification. Requests for qualifications were posted to the authority website on Monday, May 20th, and advertised in 4 newspapers on Thursday, May 23rd. The South Branch Pump Station Pump Rehabilitation and Equipment Upgrades Project. After board approval in April, the authority entered into a contract with Allied Construction for the replacement of the existing traveling water screens. Subsequently, Allied has visited the site to obtain critical measurements for equipment submittals to be reviewed by authority staff and the consulting engineer. And a pre-construction meeting has been scheduled for this Wednesday, June 5th. Substantial completion is approximately 6 months from notice to proceed for this project, which puts us on schedule to be ready for a winter pumping season if needed. With respect to the rehabilitation of 4 pumps and motor assemblies at the station, contractor has completed the dismantling and inspection. Authority staff and the consultant have reviewed the information and determined that additional work beyond the original scope is needed that could not have been fully understood until after disassembly and inspection. A memo and resolution for this change order will be presented later. 6 Mile Run Culvert Rehabilitation. While permit restrictions associated with the project preclude the contractor from performing any in-water work before July 1st, they anticipate remobilizing to the site in mid-June to get a head start on preparation work that can be performed outside of the water. The work that remains is mostly to a historic stone head wall on the outlet side of the culvert. And finally, the replacement of 11 sluice gates along the DNR Canal. Project is going well, with the contractor having finished replacement of 2 gates that were scheduled at South Bound Brook Lock, and they have since relocated to 5 Mile Lock to work on the 3 gates slated for replacement there. As of today, they have completed 3 out of the 11 total gates on the project. There's a change order presented in the report for Fail Construction for the Round Valley Earthen Dam Rehabilitation Project. This change order was approved by Capital Projects Committee on April 30th, 2024. That is all of the updates that I have for today. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Next is watershed management.
And you all have my report, and I just wanted to highlight an important milestone that was reached in May, in early May, and I've reported on progress towards this, but the state of New Jersey, in early May, state of New Jersey Aquatic Invasive Species Management Plan was approved by the Federal Aquatic Nuisance Species Task Force. And the authority and Heather Deska, who's here with me today, in particular, deserve significant credit for spearheading this accomplishment. Our boat stewards program is an example of a model program designed to stop the spread of invasives. I've also reported on that, and with that program, we partner with New Jersey State Parks at Spruce Run. This is the 4th year we've partnered with Spruce Run at that park. Monmouth County Parks at Manasquan. We've been working with them for 6 years, and this is the 2nd year working with New Jersey Fish and Wildlife at Round Valley. These stewards, who are hired seasonally, educate, inspect, and survey boaters at these 3 water bodies every weekend from Memorial Day through Labor Day. So I wanted to just highlight some stats there. So since Memorial Day weekend, there have been 454 total surveys conducted at the 3 reservoirs. 65% of those are motorboats. And 2/3 of those boaters have been surveyed in previous visits. And a high percentage of those who take the survey are aware of the dangers of aquatic invasive species. So, you know, this is, we're gaining on this. Aquatic invasive species were intercepted on 3 launching boats. And the types of weeds that we see, the invasives, are curly leaf pondweed, Eurasian water milfoil, and at Round Valley we had water chestnut also. And we track where on these launching boats, we track where they're coming from, so we get a sense of that, and it's further coordination. Eurasian water milfoil was stopped on 2 boats leaving Spruce Run Reservoir, so we know we have Eurasian water milfoil there. And last year, through a grant, we were able to get 2 boat cleaning stations. So the Spruce Run boat cleaning station has been used over 40 times since it was put in late May, and the Manasquan boat cleaning station has been used almost 60 times since it was put in at the end in mid-April. Other note is across the 3 reservoirs, the most frequently caught fish species, if you're interested in that, were largemouth bass by a lot, 80, followed by smallmouth bass, and sunfish. So thought I'd share that with you. Happy to answer questions.
Okay, we move on to new business. First, unaudited financial statements for the 9 months ending March 31st, 2024. Background, please.
Dorota is going to provide that tonight.
Good afternoon. I'm presenting the unaudited financial statements for the 9 months ended March 31st, 2024. That resolution requires the authority to prepare and distribute an audit financial statement to interested parties within 45 days of the end of each quarter. The financial statements have been distributed to all interested parties and are available on the authority website. The board resolution action is not required. The financial statement shows favorable results of operations for 9 months ending March 31st, 2024. There is net income of $8.5 million compared to $10.7 million for the same period last year. Operating expenses at March 31st, 2024, totaling $20.6 million, are slightly above budget at 78.2% of the total budget expenses for the fiscal year and are 9.7% higher at the same time last fiscal year due to increases in operation and maintenance and the branch benefits expense. Non-operating revenue at March 31st, 2024 increased by 40.6% to $4.7 million due to increase in interest income offset by decrease in grant revenue. Non-operating expenses at March 31st, 2024 increased 272.6% to $2.2 million due to increase in interest component of debt service and the cost incurred in the final closing of Rock Valley NJIB 2023 loan. I'll be happy answering any questions.
Okay. Move on to the next item. Resolution authorizing the executive director to execute an agreement with the State of New Jersey Office of Emergency Management for a FEMA flood mitigation assistance grant for the Spruce Run Reservoir Dam Grouting project. Background, please.
Julie Shelley.
Hi, good afternoon. Mark made this easy for me with his introduction earlier, so I'll keep this short and sweet. The authority applied for a competitive grant from the FEMA Flood Mitigation Assistance Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities Program to offset costs associated with the Spruce Run Embankment Grouting project. On April 17th, the authority received notification that its request for BRIC funding was approved. Staff is seeking authorization to enter into a contract agreement with the New Jersey Office of Emergency Management, who administers the grant, to proceed with this project following approval of the agreement by its Deputy Attorney General. A resolution is attached for your consideration.
Thank you. Are there any questions? I ask for a motion to move the resolution and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I would like to request a roll call for vote on this motion.
Acting Chair Ofori.
Yes.
Commissioner Blue.
Yes.
Commissioner Havens. Ellsworth, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Yes. Sorry.
Commissioner Iacula.
Yes.
Steve is still having trouble. He's in a bad signal.
Okay. Thank you. Next is resolution authorizing the executive director to execute contract WSA-C24031 for analytical laboratory services for the NJDEP grant funded project, Spruce Run Reservoir Characterization Plan. Background, please.
Heather Desco is going to provide that.
Good afternoon. In September 2023, the authority executed a grant agreement with the NJDEP for a project entitled Spruce Run Reservoir Characterization Plan. The project, funded by the Federal American Rescue Plan Act Lake Stormwater Management Grant Program, was selected to receive $562,500 to perform physical, chemical, and biological characterization of the Spruce Run Reservoir and its tributaries. This characterization fills a critical data gap. Previous monitoring efforts have focused on reservoir tributary water quality characterization, but only in recent years has the authority actively monitored the water quality of Spruce Run Reservoir as a result of the persistent and recurrent harmful algal blooms. An essential component of this project requires certified laboratory analyses of surface water samples from the reservoir and tributaries. Under the grant agreement, $387,118 has been allocated for certified laboratory analysis tasks. The authority issued an invitation for bids on March 13th, 2024 for the laboratory analysis of surface water samples for the project, to which 4 bids were received in response to the solicitation. The bid opening was on April 3rd, 2024, and the 3 lowest bids were evaluated for legal responsiveness, and all bids were evaluated for technical responsiveness, specifically the laboratory's reporting limits for the chemical parameters as stated in the IFB and the addendum. The bid was canceled due to the lack of any technically and legally responsive bids. The authority issued an updated invitation for bids on April 15th, 2024, to which 5 bids were received. The low bid in the amount of $186,460 from ALS of Middletown, PA, was legally responsive but not technically responsive. That is, it did not meet all the specified laboratory reporting limits as required in the scope of work detailed in the IFB. The second lowest bid in the amount of $189,680 from Eurofins Environment Testing Philadelphia LLC of Horsham, Pennsylvania, was technically responsive and legally responsive. Staff recommends authorizing the executive director to award a contract for laboratory services to Eurofins Environment Testing Philadelphia LLC of Horsham, PA, in the amount of $189,680. The funding for this work will be reimbursed under the NJDEP grant agreement for the Spruce Run Reservoir Characterization Plan. An appropriate resolution has been prepared for your consideration.
Thank you. Are there any questions? I ask for a motion to move the resolution and a second.
So moved.
So moved.
I would like to request a roll call vote for this motion.
Acting Chair Ofori,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo.
Yes.
Thank you. Next is resolution authorizing change order number 002 for additional repairs or modifications necessary for the rehabilitation of 4 of the main pumps for contract WSA-C23014 for the rehabilitation of pumps 4, 5, 7, and 8 at South Branch Pumping Station, Hunterdon County, New Jersey. Background, please.
Steve Cates.
The South Branch Pumping Station, located along the south branch of the Raritan River, is a vital part of the overall Raritan water supply system, used to pump water from the South Branch to Round Valley Reservoir. The pump station has 10 centrifugal pumps, each powered by a 2,000 horsepower electric motor, and each capable of delivering 40 million gallons per day. 2 pumps, numbers 1 and 6, were rehabilitated in 2015 as a pilot project for this rehabilitation effort. 4 pumps are currently removed for this project, and the remaining 4 are original and kept available to support Round Valley filling operations. Contractor is tasked with removal, inspection, and rehabilitation of the 4 pump and motor assemblies, and installation of the rehabilitated assemblies with additional work related to piping, valving, instrumentation, and testing and startup services. As part of the scope of work, this project contractor was responsible for providing written reports detailing any required repairs that needed to occur while the motors and pumps were disassembled. While basic rehabilitation efforts were included in the lump sum cost bid for the rehabilitation, it was impossible to know prior to disassembly and inspection the full extent of potential repairs that were necessary. As a result, this portion of the proposed change order in the amount of $56,903 addresses the additional work necessary to completely rehabilitate the 4 pumps addressed under this construction contract. The second and smaller portion of the proposed change order addresses modifications to the type of shaft coupling required to connect the pumps to the drive motors. In addition to allowing for the transfer of torque from the motor to the pump, This kind of coupling allows for degrees of freedom to address very slight misalignments that might exist between the output shaft of the motor and the input shaft of the driven pump. Vibration associated with even very small misalignment between the shafts can result in significant wear and premature failure of rehabilitated or even new equipment. The selected couplings are currently in use at the other assemblies at the station and are of a robust design that has been shown to work well in our application. Additional cost for the 4 couplings is $26,740. The 2 components of the proposed change order result in a total cost increase of $83,643 and a revised contract total of $2,887,035. Authority staff and our engineering consultant have reviewed the contractors' pump condition reports and proposals and find them to be reasonable and appropriate. As such, staff and our engineering consultant respectfully request approval of the proposed change order. An appropriate resolution for this action has been prepared and included in the board package for your consideration.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Okay, I ask for motion to move the resolution.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. I would like to request a roll call vote on this motion.
Acting Chair Ofori,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Havens,
Yes.
Commissioner Iaculo,
Yes.
Commissioner Pico. Oh, he's not here. Sorry.
Okay, next, Mark, are there any committee meetings to report?
The audit committee meeting was held just prior to today's meeting. Discussion was held regarding planning for the upcoming audit. I guess Bob or Susan, do you have any further report other than that?
Just to mention that the timing is the field work will start soon and be finalized in July. And we should have a final report in the beginning of August, at which time we'll meet with representatives from Marcadian again to go over the final result.
Also, thank you, Bob. Also, we do have a capital projects committee meeting scheduled directly after this board meeting to discuss ongoing change order negotiation with authority contractors.
That's it. Thank you. Okay, so now it's time for public comments. Any member of the public wishing to speak should please state their full name and affiliation clearly for the record. Okay. Doesn't appear we got one. Okay. Mark, is there any executive session?
No, there is not.
Okay, good. So we've gone through all the items on the agenda and I ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved. So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you all, and the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll open up the other capital projects committee meeting shortly. 5 minutes?
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.